Hi again, Gregg of the News Tribune here at Seahawks headquarters in Seattle. Hi again, Gregg of the News Tribune here at Seahawks headquarters in Renton on Saturday afternoon. The draft has ended, and it was an eventful one for Seattle. Seahawks going into the week with just 4 picks, the NFL's fewest. They ended it with 11 picks. They made 8 trades to get 7 additional choices. They had the 11 picks, tied for second most in the league. Minnesota had 12, Arizona and the Giants had 11, but all of those were starting from a much higher floor than the Seahawks were. Pete Carroll, after the draft, just marveling at John Schneider's effectiveness at spinning on dime, making quick calls to contacts around the league, having his staff working in concert in a seamless way of their way around, making deals in short order. The biggest one to Carroll, the one that stunned him the most, he's still talking about how shocked he is DK Metcalf in the second round, the end of the second round, the 64th pick. The Seahawks did not believe he'd still be there. They thought he may be gone after round 1. Round 2 ends in Metcalf, the freakish, just a freak athlete and body type, 3% body fat, he told us yesterday, which actually is up from the 1.9% he was rumored to have. 6'3.5", 229 pounds, runs a 4.33 40-yard dash from Mississippi. Some people believe he's just a one-trick wonder with just straight line speed. He has the physicality that Pete Carroll loves in receivers to put on against smaller defensive backs. Anyway, end of round 2, the Seahawks look up and here's Metcalf still on the board. They'd already taken L.J. Collier, the defensive end from TCU, in the first round. They'd already taken their second-round pick, Blair from Utah, a versatile safety, but they didn't think Metcalf would still be around. Here he was. He had Snyder just picked up the phone when 64 came up, called New England, gave New England 4th-round pick, 3rd-round pick. They get DK Metcalf. Carroll said afterwards, "I never thought this guy would be on our team." He's just overjoyed, as was Metcalf. They both were crying on the phone when Carroll and Schneider called Metcalf. Metcalf and Carroll were in tears over joy about getting him on the roster. That was a indication, and then it became obvious today in the 4th round when the Seahawks took Gary Jennings, a 6'1", 219-pound wide receiver from West Virginia, that they wanted size and speed. Jennings can run a 4.4 40-yard dash. Between Metcalf and Jennings, it became obvious the Seahawks wanting size with speed at wide receiver. Why? You saw yesterday's news, you saw it here online in my stories, that Doug Baldwin is all but on his way to retirement. The Seahawks said that Baldwin told him recently he's contemplating retirement at age 30 after 3 off-season surgeries, the most recent one this month for a sports hernia. John Schneider said today it'll be, quote, weeks, not months, before they have a determination and resolution on this, but that there's, quote, a process to go through. That process, again, is contractual things, how much money he would still be getting with 2 years left on his deal and $19.5 million left on his contract. Schneider said they're talking with the league and the players' union on this process, but that it'll be weeks until it's resolved, not months. But the Seahawks moves in the meantime, 3 wide receivers in all in the 11 picks, show that they are moving on and in a new era at wide receiver. Pete Carroll said that the aim was to get bigger and faster at wide receiver. That was their #1 priority coming into this draft. And they did it with Jennings and with DK Metcalf, the biggest and fastest one of them all. Then in the 7th round, they were so intent on adding receivers, they traded back into the draft. They were done. 6th round, 10th pick. Well, they used one of their 12 picks they're expecting to have in 2020 to trade with Jacksonville to get back in the 7th round, and then they took John Asua from the University of Hawaii. He's not big, and he's not as fast. He's 5'9" and 182 pounds, so where's he fit in? Well, he was a slot receiver at Hawaii that he scored 16 touchdowns, had 16 touchdown catches last year for the Rainbows. That led the major college football, and all of it was as a slot receiver. So he would, and will, John Schneider confirmed, go into the competition right away as slot receiver that Baldwin had for years and years as Russell Wilson's favorite contact. Carroll stressed that he wanted guys that could break the top off of defenses beyond just Tyler Lockett. He felt the offense was limited in the passing game because it was only Lockett that could be the home run threat. Well, now they've got three: Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Gary Jennings. And Carroll saying that the Seahawks in their passing game wanting to exploit and feature more the abilities of Russell Wilson to throw the ball down the field. So if that's for all of you who say, why are we signing the Seahawks signing a $140 million record contract for a quarterback who just hands off all the time? Well, they wanted to address that. The NFL's top rushing offense last year wanted to have over-the-top home run threats, big, fast receivers, and more of them for Wilson, and they got two more of them in this draft. Lots more to talk about. I could go on, but in the interest of brevity and the fact to get down with your weekend, read all my coverage instead on thenewstribune.com, at Twitter at GBellSeattle. Seahawks are now going into the process of getting about a dozen or so undrafted rookie free agents signed. The Seahawks will announce those on Monday. You'll see news trickling out in Twitter and social media postings in the meantime. Thanks for watching. Take care.